Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Friday Eve. Happy day. We are back with another word of encouragement. It's actually the final word of encouragement for this week and for next week. So just in case you guys missed Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, well, really Monday, because Monday kind of laid the foundation for everything. So just in case you guys missed Monday, we are in 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 1 through 7, talking about the widow's oil, the story of the widow's oil. And oil was broken down in an acronym. Those of you that know me know that I absolutely love acronyms. So it's kind of broken down in an acronym, and it's obedience. Obedience ignites the lift. I apologize. Obedience ignites the lift. So that is what we are discussing. So Monday, we talked about the O for obedience. Tuesday, we talked about, or not Monday, I'm sorry. Monday was the foundation. Tuesday, we talked about O for obedience. Wednesday, we discussed the I for ignites. And today is the final day. For those of you that may have missed, as I said, this is the final encouragement for this week, and I will not be doing any encouragements next week either. So take that time to go back and look at some encouragement. Take that time to take whatever has stuck out to you through any of the words of encouragement. Take that time to take it back to God. Ask Him, what are you trying to tell me through these things? What is it that you're trying to pull me out of through these things? Or maybe where are you trying to place me through these things that are sticking out to me? I strongly encourage you to do that. Because when you are able to be encouraged to move, when you are able to be encouraged to transition, when you are encouraged to obey, when you are encouraged to obey through the encouragement of someone else, you're able to then encourage others to do the very same thing. So I strongly encourage you to do that. So let's get into today's encouragement. Today, as I said, we're talking about the lift. L for the lift. So as we know, the widow's oil, her oil didn't flow. She had to be obedient in order for her to even know what her oil did. In order for her to even know how important her oil was, she had to be obedient. She had to be obedient enough for each instruction. I'm pretty sure it was uncomfortable going to knock on neighbors' doors. I'm pretty sure it was uncomfortable going to go get this jar or this flask of oil, whichever version you read it in. Going to go get this flask of oil. And we know what a flask looks like. So we know it's not much in a flask, or it's not much that's going to hold a flask. But we also know that in order for that flask to move, in order for that oil to move, in order for it to be made into more, it could only come from above. It could only come straight from the direction, the provision, the guidance of God. So in order for all of that to happen, she had to be able to ignite something. And in order for that to be ignited, it was her obedience plus her move that ignited the lift. So today we're discussing the lift. And the lift, God didn't just give her enough oil. He gave her an abundance of oil. He didn't just give her just enough. He made sure she had an abundance of oil. That's the most important thing to understand here. Because what you think you have that's so small, what you think you have that is not going to be enough, what you think you have that is not important, God can use that and He can make it into more. He can take your voice. He can take your podcast. He can take your encouragement. And even though you're not making money from it, you are still gaining an abundance because you're able to go out and have more people use their voice. You're able to go out and have others tap into their gift. You're able to go out and show others that you too can do this as long as you are obedient to God, as long as you ignite. Your obedience plus your move is going to ignite your lift. So you too can do these things. You just have to be obedient to the word and to the command, to the provision, to the guidance of God. And understand that it takes you to move. If you missed yesterday, I strongly encourage you to go back. I know I said Monday, but yesterday was really something, because in order for you to move, in order for you to be elevated, in order for you to get more, in order for you to go higher, you have to be able to move. The move is important, because you can obey all day long, but until you put that obedience with the move, you have to put your word plus your action into action. You have to match 1 and 2 have to make 3. So in order for you to get lifted, in order for you to get elevated, in order for you to get somewhere, get something out of nothing, you have to be obedient, number 1. You're adding that to moving, number 2, and that is equaling number 3, you're lifting. So he provided a way for her to get out of debt, but he also provided a way for her to continue on with her legacy. And I'm not even going to say continue on with her legacy. I'm going to say to kickstart her legacy, because as we know, it wasn't just her, it was her sons as well. So he gave her enough. In her being obedient, she saw that the tiny flask of oil that she thought was not important, the flask of oil that she thought was just a bottle of oil, it ended up being more, and it ended up being what she needed. She thought it was just some oil that she had laying around, but it ended up being more than enough. It ended up being more than what she initially needed. And because she was obedient, she was able to have that abundance. Because she was obedient, she was able to set up that legacy for her boys. Because she was obedient, she was able to then maybe help others. Who knows? Because she was obedient, she was able to, others are able to be obedient behind her obedience. I'll put it that way. Others were able to be obedient behind her obedience. So because she was obedient, she ignited something in someone else. We read stories, this story now, when we read the Bible, things in the Bible that we see really are things that are going on with us nowadays. But when we read it in the Bible, it kind of kickstarts something. It kind of lets us know, well, they went through these things, so I can go through this thing. I can trust you, God, to get me through this. This is a little personal for me. I can trust you, God, to get me through this. I can trust you, God, to be able to help me make it to the other side. I can trust you, God, to be able to pull me through this tunnel. But in order for you to say, I can trust you, God, you have to be obedient to what it is that he's calling you to do. You have to be obedient to his steps. You have to be obedient to the GPS. God provided steps. You have to be obedient to his steps. You can't take out a step and say, okay, well, I want to do it this way, but everything else I'm going to follow God's way. No, you have to do it all God's way. Do it all God's way. And the most important thing is you have to make it known to those around you, I'm doing it God's way. You can do it whatever way you want to do it, but I'm doing it God's way. I'm following his command. I'm following him. He is the head of my life. Once you're able to open up your mouth and make it known, God is the head of my life, then I promise you, the walk may not be easy. It may not be easy. You're going to have some things that trip you up, but that is where your trust comes in. That is where the lift comes in. Your trust is lifting you. Your trust is elevating you, but you have to match that with obedience. You can't just say, I'm going to trust you and not be obedient. You can't just say, I'm going to be obedient and not trust you. The two don't mix. You have to do them together, not one or the other. So that kind of went left from what I initially had, but it was, like I said, that was personal for me. I hope and pray that it was something personal for someone else as well. Trust him, even if it looks scary, just like the woman with the, just like the widow's oil. It may have looked scary. It may have looked uncomfortable for her to go knocking on neighbors' doors. The woman with the issue of blood, it may have looked scary for her to push through people in that crowd, but they did what they had to do to get what they know they needed to get. They trusted. They moved. They were obedient. they did what it is that they knew that they had to do. Your yes is more than just solving a problem. Know that your yes is more than just solving a problem. Your yes is setting you up for provision God's way. Your yes is setting you up for God's provision, and it's also going to reveal the purpose that he has for you. So your yes does more than just you saying yes. So in turn, you have to be able to move. You have to be able to trust. You have to be able to be obedient. You can't expect to be lifted and still be sitting in the same place. You can't expect to be lifted doing the same old things over and over and over again on that hamster wheel, going in circles and in circles and in circles, or in a fish tank going around and around and around. You can't expect to be lifted going in the same position, in the same direction every single time. That's not how a lift works. A lift works by you walking straight and letting God elevate you. On an escalator, you get on the escalator and you don't have to move. You stand there and you trust that it's going to get you from point A to point B. That is how God wants you to do with him. You are there. You move your way to that bottom of that escalator. You had to walk from your position of where you were in. You walk from where you are, from the door, let's say. You walk in the door, you walk from that door, and you walk to the bottom of the escalator. You do nothing but stand there and trust that it's going to get you to the top. You trust that it's not going to break down midway. You trust that it's not going to take you backwards. That is no different than trusting God. You move to the point where he tells you to move to, but then you trust that he's going to elevate you. You trust that he's going to get you from point A to point B. You trust that he's going to make sure that everything is taken care of. That is how the lift works. A Hoyer lift, maybe for those that are in nursing. I used to work in nursing. So a Hoyer lift, you push a button, or even the manual. The person that is in the Hoyer lift, they're trusting that, number one, you're not going to drop them. They're trusting that the lift is not going to get stuck midair. They're trusting that the lift is going to get them from point A to point B. But in order for them to be able to do that, they have to let go of fear. They can't be tensed up, because when you tense up, it adds weight. So you can't be tensed up and say, I'm trusting you. You can't be tensed up and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Let go of fear and trust that God is going to get you from point A to point B. Let go of fear. I don't know who needs to hear that, but let go of fear. Let go of fear and trust and believe that God is going to make a way. He's going to make a way out of no way. He's going to make a way out of no way. You may not see him working behind the scenes. You may not see whatever it is. I made a post the other day. I may not see it now, but I know it's on the way. Use that. You may not see it at the moment, but trust and believe God is making a way. You may not see it right now, but know whatever he has for you is on the way. Know that it's on the way. I want you to declare something with me today, and then I'm going to go ahead and close out of here. I want you to declare with me today that, God, I trust you for the lift. Or, God, I trust you to the lift. Whichever way you need to say it. Make it personal. God, I trust you for the lift. God, I trust you through the lift. Make it personal. And journal whatever it is that he reveals to you. I'm big on journaling. It's a way to release. It's also a way to discuss with God in your personal timing. It's a quiet way to take in what it is that he's telling you to take in. It's a quiet way for you to understand what it is that he's providing you. But make it personal. Whatever it is that you take away from today, or any other encouragement, make it personal. I hope and pray that something that I have said has ignited something in you. I hope and pray that something that I have said has moved you to trust God. And I don't really want to water it down, what he has given to give out. So I'm just going to close it off there. I love you, and I hope and pray that you have a wonderful Thursday. I cannot wait until we get back to our next sessions of encouragement. But as I said, I will not be on tomorrow, and I will not be on all next week. But I hope that you have a great one, a great weekend, a great week. Whenever we may see each other again, use these encouragements to get you through. Share them out. That is what they are here for. They're for us to encourage one another. They're even for me to encourage myself at times. So make sure you share them out. I share them out as well. I take my time and I journal through them as well. I listen for what God is telling me to take in, and I take it all back to Him and take in what it is that He's given me. So I hope and pray that something, like I said, that I have said has ignited you to trust God. I hope and pray that something that I have said has ignited you to want to move. Put your obedience in action. Make your obedience match your move, and trust that He's going to lift you. Obedience ignites the lift. Have a great day.